Memphis trying to stay perfect in Birmingham against UAB. Remember, Blazers responsible for the last Tiger Conference USA loss. Memphis down as many as 7 late. They're back within 4 on the CDR3, and then Douglas Roberts spins and hits. 1-point game.
Terrible call. I mean, a push-off, he falls down. Terrible call.
Well, Robert Vaden for the win, no. And the putback, Lawrence Kennard is good, but it's too late after the buzzer. Memphis survives again, 79-78. And again, they were down much of this basketball game. 9 minutes to go, down by 1. They missed 12 of the final 15 shots. They were terrible at the line down the stretch. Somehow, some way, the Tigers earned their 44th consecutive regular season victory. Game day crew will be there for Memphis and Tennessee. We look forward to that one. In the meantime, Kelvin Sampson, a lot of distractions surrounding this Indiana club, and they looked at early against Michigan State. Drew Neitzel for 3. Sparty's up by 11 early, and then
the too much too soon theory. We talk about it all the time. When two teams are comparable and one visitor gets way out ahead, it never works out. Tonight, case in point.
And it was tight for much of the first half. DJ White goes down, and this is a scary moment. He would leave the game, not return. Now they think he's going to be okay. MRI scheduled for Monday, but that would be huge.
You don't know till it swells up. You do the MRI, and hopefully he's okay.
And I give Mr. Gottlieb all the credit here. He gets the props. He said last night that they would circle the wagons. They played great.
Circle the wagons.
That's exactly what they did.
Eric Gordon, 28, spectacular performance. He carried this team. I'm telling you, Kelvin Sampson's going to turn this into an us against the world mentality. And right now, it was Eric Gordon against the world.
As long as he's part of us. But Eric Gordon did, in fact, take over the game with those 28 after White went down. Jordan Crawford chipped in. He's been big the second half of the season. And Kelvin Sampson's boys pull out an impressive win over a good Michigan State team. 80-61 the score when it was over. The coach spoke with Aaron Anderson. 7 of the last 9 against the Cuse, and T.B. Hibbert struggled to get involved early.
Yes, he did. He got in foul trouble. That was a mess. He couldn't make shots. He only got 6 attempts all afternoon, excuse me, and threw the ball away a couple times. Just didn't have a good game at all.
Really similar to last year in the Dome, same time of year, same hot Georgetown team.
No such issues for the Orange. They were hot shooting in the first half. You see Dante Green and fellow freshman Johnny Flynn. The run is 8-0. Now it's 12-0, and they're up 16 at halftime.
Yeah, and you know what was interesting and impressive was that Georgetown came back at him twice in the second half, and Syracuse took the punch both times and moved right away from him.
Well, here it is. Hibbert finally with some position in the low block. He had 11 on the day. Hoya's back within 8. Jesse Sapp for 3.
See how quickly Hibbert caught the ball, kept it high, looked weak side. Too often he put the ball on the deck and invited the double team.
Georgetown got within 5. That is as close as they would get. Paul Harris, nice. He had 22, and the Cuse win it 77-70. Foreshadowing, you mentioned South Florida, UConn, Hashim Thabit, and the Huskies.
I've seen how these things end.
They can throw a block party. Don't spoil the ending, please. There's Jeff Adrian rejecting Kentrell Gransberry, and Thabit another one, and it's just what they do day in and day out.
And they're just getting better all the time. And they found their confidence now. They just really got a swagger about them. And Thabit, as I said, gets better every trip down the court.
Huskies with 11 blocks all told. There's A.J. Price, who's getting better and better. He had 23.
Yeah, and that's another thing we don't talk about. They're leading the country in blocks. That's like 9 times that you don't get a shot off. It's a big, big deal.
But this one very much in doubt. Jesus Verdejo, the tough triple to tie the ball game.
If the question is, what would Jesus do? He'd hit a 3.
Dominique Jones for the win. Didn't quite get it, and folks, we've got bonus basketball in Tampa. South Florida down by 1, and Jones trying to play the role of hero, misses once, but gets it back and in with 6 seconds left. The Bulls are up by 1.
See, I thought the Bulls did a good job of not allowing the ball to A.J. Price, making Craig Austria handle.
Whoops. And you know TB's theory, the longer the game goes, I like the better team.
Austria is the hero, and the Huskies have won 9 straight games. Stay in the Big East. No white suit today. There's Rick Pitino, Louisville, Providence, Terrence Williams.
You think he knows where the gym is, the locker room is, all the little nooks and crannies of this arena?
He knows his way around.
And the restaurants.
It wasn't the dunk back then, though. Wayme Efujuku. Providence played well in this game.
They did.
4-point game there. David Padgett's such a great passer.
That's it. When your big guy can pass, it opens up so many avenues for you, and he's brilliant at it.
Earl Clark the 3, and then Padgett Well, Clark returns the
A little
favor.
spin seal in the lane. Pageant, an efficient player, despite the fact his legs aren't what they used to be when he's the McDonald's All-American.
And Patino now 4-0 against his former team. So the top of the Big East and a whole lot of three-loss clubs going to be jockeying for position here.
Yeah, and I think Louisville, now that they're finally healthy, again, eerily similar to last year. Georgetown still a pretty good record. Louisville getting hot the right time as they've gotten healthy. And look at here, UConn and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's so good at home.
And Cincinnati could finish 5th in this conference, but be a 500 ball club overall.
The swings in Cincinnati's season are really amazing. A lot like Seton Hall 2 years ago.
Colorado, Kansas, Danny Manning there as KU celebrates 110 years of basketball, including the '88 title team. And Manning said, quote, "Our championship team nowhere near the team we have now at Kansas."
Well, remember that team, championship year, they lost 10 games.
Right.
I mean, 10 games. And they have the 20th anniversary uniforms.
Yeah, I don't think they'll lose 10 games this year. Darrell Arthur, the throwdown, and then off the turnover, rush, Russell Robinson, Darnell Jackson, if you're nasty. He had 12.
One of the most improved players in the country.
Oklahoma City product.
And here's Arthur from Sharon Collins. And the 25th straight home victory for the Jayhawks against Colorado. Tennessee and Georgia, that means Bruce Pearl. The more customary colors today, no bright orange. J.P. Prince, Tyler Smith, the bullet path.
It just rifled the zone apart. Georgia played well for the most part. They gave Tennessee so many easy shots.
Sundiata Gaines, 23 on the day.
Very good player on a very bad team.
4-point game late. There's Chris Lofton. Bruce Pearl said that's why he's an All-American. He had 6 threes, 22 points. Down 3, 2.7. Gaines missed it, but the fadeaway 3 will not fall. Would have forced overtime instead. Another win for the Vols on the road. Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Tyler Hansbrough. 5th-ranked UNC, coming off a couple of tight games. This one,
Look at that defense.
not so much.
If he was a paparazzi, he'd be the first one on Lindsey's hood.
Look at the big fella run the floor. He had 23.
That's funny. If he wore a royal blue uniform, doesn't he kind of play like a Dookie?
Yes, he does.
Oh,
I know it's blasphemy.
You hear me say that, but I agree with you.
Tar Heels out, rebounded.
All you need is a floor slap, and he's a Dookie.
54-24. And Quinn Thomas doing an admirable job filling in for Ty Law.
We're happy for him.
Wayne Ellington up. And Alex Stevenson down. Hokie shot is 26%. Michael Beasley and K-State taking on Mizzou. And surprise, surprise, number 30 got off to a hot start. We pretty much seem to say that every time he takes the floor.
No, I'm going to say he's better than Durant. Better than him.
Yep.
He really is.
No, he's stronger. I think he's far better defensively. He can score better in that low post. More active defender. And by the way, Billy Walker,
He's pretty good too.
maybe the least talked about star freshman. I know he's a second season there, but this is a freshman.
And it takes a while to come back from an ACL tear. Look at that pass. Just gorgeous. But he can really play.
So Beasley and Walker outscored the entire Missouri team in the first half, 37-30.
Yeah, I like that we had that matchup, Matt Lawrence against Michael Beasley. Was that really a matchup?
Beasley, by the way, 21 in the first half. That exceeded his total from the previous matchup, and he keeps going. 40 points for Beasley.
Look at
17
that.
rebounds.
He did it all.
And even mopped the floor after.
He's a bad man.
Which is what TV does after the show, so it's all good. 12 of 22 from the floor. He was 14 of 15 from the stripe. And oh, by the way, guys, he's only the second player in the last dozen years to have a 40-point and a 10-rebound game, the 40 and 10. Only 2 guys have gone for 40 and 10. He did it twice. That's what I'm trying to say.
You got it. Figured it out.
Speaking of Kevin Durant.
Speaking of Kevin Durant, did you know that was coming too? Tweety Carter, Baylor and Texas. Carter for 3. Now the Bears were down 10. Now they're down 7 off the inbound. It's Tweety. Give it up to Henry Dugat for 3.
Good fake.
How not to break a press by Texas. Coming right about now.
After a foul, DJ Augustine 1-1. Oh, there's the board. Curtis Gerals. Take it strong, my friend. It's a 2-point game. Texas turns it over, so Baylor can tie or take the lead here with under 45. Gerals.
And you know what? They got Gerals on that offensive foul 3 different times in this game. He could have had a 15-footer right before that.
Yep, and then Carter hits the layup, so it's a 1-point game again. On the inbound, A.J. Abrams is on the baseline. So the Bears now have the ball, down 1, 28 on the clock.
No timeout. See that? See, there's no yellow lights there on the screen?
You know who didn't see it? Aaron Bruce.
Aaron Bruce, the senior.
Who has just had a miserable stretch of basketball in the last 6 games. And in fact, he was 0 from the floor today, and he called the Weber timeout. Draws the technical. Still Baylor had a chance, though. Down by 2. And Lace Darius Dunn can't connect. So Baylor, all kinds of chances.
Yeah, and Lace Darius Dunn just hit 3 consecutive threes from that exact same spot before that miss.
We go west.
Since they beat Texas A&M in 5 overtime.
Trent Johnson and the Cardinal in Tucson. Jared Bayless and the foul. Bayless, 31 points. He was over 30 for a 3rd straight game.
That's a bad boy right there.
Unstoppable.
So is this one.
Yeah, final 30 seconds. Brooke Lopez fouled.
You supposed to get calls at home?
Kevin O'Neill can't believe it. Bayless actually said that after. He said, we're at home. We didn't get the calls. He shot 16 free throws by himself. He must have gotten something. Lopez made a pair to put the Cardinal up 1, and then they didn't credit Robin Lopez for a block there, but he at least altered the shot, and that was the difference as Stanford gets a split.
Robin Lopez, 6'11", 7'4" with the afro.
Nice.
And Stanford right in the hunt. 1 game behind UCLA, right?
UCLA gets USC on Sunday. So there it is. You say it here, it comes out there. And we've got a bit of separation at the top, but I tell you what, 3 through 8 in the Pac-10, a muddled mess.
And you don't think that's a problem, huh? I think that hurts your chances for bids. You guys don't?
No.
Okay.
Now, by the way, Washington State, big win. Big win at Oregon.
Yep.
They have stopped the bleeding in a major way in the Blues.
No bleeding for the Boilers. They are playing great basketball.
Lots of blood at Northwestern.
11th straight win. And Northwestern trying to stay in it with Kevin Coble, who had 13.
What a great story. You know,
Yeah,
took some time off to spend time with his mom and she recovered from cancer.
Keaton Grant for 3 at 15. Purdue up a tray. Robbie Hummel's been great. Today was not his day. He draws iron, but Marcus Green on the putback. A 12-0 run, and then it's Antoine Moore.
Is it just me, or does everybody think that Matt Painter looks like the Enterprise rent-a-car guy?
Yeah, he's kind of going middle part, almost a little Steve Alford look. That's uncomfortable.
Jay Graves and the Butler Bulldogs looking to avenge their loss to Cleveland State back in January.
He's so good at using the pick and roll. He takes it over to the right and comes back to the left. Deep jump shot, can also take it to the hoop.
He had 15, Butler by 6. Drew Stryker misses the 3. Look at the clock here, 14.8. Vikings down 5. Tick, tick, tick. Now 9 seconds. Jonathan Bullock, he waits until 6.5 on the clock before forcing up that shot. You're down 5. Game situation. Gary Waters is not
Gary Waters.
He's done a good job, Gary Waters, with that.
Really has. Really has.
Bulldogs won 11 straight at home. Love the Drake.
Great job at Kent State before he went to Rutgers.
Yes, he did. That's correct.
That's another Corver, Clayton. He and Drake shooting for their first MVC conference title since 1971. There's Corver for 3. Leonard Houston for the alley-oop. He had a dozen.
Amazingly picked 9th, right, in the preseason?
Yeah, picked 9th in the preseason. They went on a late 13-2 run. Adam Ebenecker to Corver. There's another Corver at Creighton, and then another one in high school. He's a football player. The Pella, Iowa Corvers can shoot the rock.
First conference title in 37 years. Vandy, Florida. Shane Foster, just 7 points in the Doors' loss to the Gators on January 27. Foster would have more than 7 on this day. In fact, he had 19, including the 3 there. And off the miss, offensive rebound, Foster, yes, sir. A little faster getting to 7 this time around.
Not the guy you want to leave open. When he has his feet set, what great balance early in the year. He was leading the country in three-point shooting percentage.
Gators here down by 2. They get the steal. Nick Calathis and 1. And wait just a minute here. Things getting chippy. Technical foul.
Yeah, Walter Hodge running his mouth a little bit. Probably didn't deserve a tee.
Final sex, Dan Warner, no. Vandy wins by 3. Bracketologist Joe Lunardi updates us on Florida and other bubble teams. And we evaluate the dunks of the day. Landon Milbourne, Tom.
7. Give it a 7. Anytime you dunk in traffic, that counts a little more.
7? That's an 8. He went lefties.
He is
I know he's lefty, but he kind of jumps to the side and on somebody.
Marcus
Earl
Landry.
Gray, anyone?
I give him an 8 on the pullback.
I'm gonna go 7. He didn't touch his back. You got to touch the number. Well, there's no name on the back of the jersey. You couldn't touch that.
Patrick Christopher on Ty Abbott. The throwdown. Baptized.
9 contested. 9.
Yep, I agree. We agree. Baptized. Bears with another road win.
I know you love Billy Walker.
Do, and in traffic here, I think it's a great dunk. I gave him a 9.
I'm going to go 8, uncontested. I like when you dunk on somebody.
Tested.
It was uncontested.
Yeah, to go around a guy
Guy right on his back. All right, Jamal Schuler.
Matt Lawrence, he's already got too much running this show.
One hand. Elevation.
You know what? A million guys can do that. 6.
Schuler, 7.
NC Wilmington and George Mason. 6 seconds to go, tied at 73. GMU's Will Thomas at the line, misses the free throw. Wilmington's T.J. Carter crosses midcourt, 3 seconds left. The little runner is good, and Wilmington wins by 2. They move into second place into the Colonial Athletic Association. Sooners and Red Raiders, another fantastic finish. Pat Knight rocking the football jersey. It's a tough look to pull off. Oklahoma down 1. David Godbold for 3. Oh my goodness, he made it. Nothing but net. He only had 5 points before that triple, make it 8. Oklahoma up 2 with 1.4 seconds left. Bobby Knight in attendance. Now you see the time left. Martin Zeno gets a pretty good look, but he can't get it to go, and Tech falls to 1-3 under Pat Knight. Sooners win by 2.
Duke 10-0 in the ACC, only 1 loss all season. Kyle Singler coming off a career-high 26 and a win over Maryland. But Ishmael Smith here to L.D. Williams. Go get it, young fella. Wake is up, but here comes Duke. Greg Paulus leading 11-0. Blue Devils run, ties the game at 52. But Duke plagued in this game by fouls. They moved out in front by 1. DeMarcus Nelson called for an offensive foul. He eventually would foul out. Then Gerald Henderson called for the hook. He would eventually foul out. Wake Forest freshman James Johnson, a kid from Wyoming, showing out off glass. He went for 24. And Jeff Teague, freshman from Indy, said, I'm not an All-American or nothing, but I want to go out and try to beat one. 1, 2, and 3 the hard way. He had 26. But the fouls continue to haunt Duke. And the folks in the ACC, the other schools, love to complain about how Duke gets all the calls. They didn't in this one. Lance Thomas, another foul. 31 fouls for Duke to 20 for Wake. That's Kyle Singler. Thomas fouled out. Singler fouled out. All 5 starters in this game for Duke remarkably would foul out. The last one, Greg Paulus there, gets the foul, as basically they're just up against it, down 10, less than a minute to play. Nothing else they can do. Coach K looking on disbelief. And the celebration there, the kids had win for Skip on their chest. Wake Forest, of course, lost Skip Prosser last summer. They've been playing great at home. They've moved all the way up to 5th in the ACC, 6-5. They're 14-1 at home. And since Tim Duncan left Wake Forest, the Deacons have beaten the Blue Devils 4 times. Those 4 wins are the last 4 meetings in Winston-Salem during the month of February. That's when the voodoo all mixes together nicely for the kids in tie-dye. All 4 of the wins have come when the Blue Devils were ranked at least in the top 8.
How about Kevin Love and O.J. Mayo, UCLA and USC? Trojans beat UCLA earlier this season at Pauley. Trojans coming out in the black unis. Love called it a must-win game, and he got down on the floor to help his squad. Russell Westbrook with the miss, but Josh Shipp, he didn't miss. Bruins up 8 at the break. Second half, Mayo with a rough time. Westbrook was on him like the paparazzi on Britney. Mayo had 4-point shot, just 2 of 8. He also had 10 turnovers. Darren Collison says thank you for that one. Bucket +1. Bruins up 12 after the free throw. UCLA fans made the trip across town digging it. Love 13 points, 11 rebounds. And UCLA exacts some revenge. Bruins take this one 56-46.
Luke Herringody having an All-American type season for Notre Dame. Held to a Big East low 10 points, taking on Rutgers at the rack. Here, tied at 57. That's a tip-in for Herringody. He was only 5 of 16 from the floor. Fortunately for the Irish, Corey Jackson stepped up. Jackson had a game-high 17. Irish up 6. But Rutgers responds. Earl Pettis will find J.R. Inman on the dribble drive. Nice dish for the jam. Rutgers within 1. 13.1 to go. Notre Dame's up 1. Herringody, the 1-1. So if he misses, Rutgers gets the ball back. They got a shot. Oh, there's 3 Scarlet Knights there, and the ball goes out of bounds. And Fred Hill, love Fred Hill's passion. He just can't believe it. After 2 free throws, Corey Chandler got a chance to tie it. He was 1 of 6 from 3, and that ain't the one. The Irish can exhale. They win it on the road by 3.
To the Big Ten now, Ohio State and Michigan. And look who was there. During halftime, football coach Rich Rodriguez addressed the Michigan fans. He also got some jeers from Ohio State fans there, and he responded.
I hope you guys up there enjoy your seats.
That was cold. We flash back to 2001. Then newly hired Ohio State head coach Jim Tressel addressed fans at a Michigan-Ohio State basketball game.
I can assure you that you'll be proud of our young people in the classroom, in the community, and most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
I'm not going to make any predictions just yet, other than one thing. When you come in the big house, all right, when the Maize and Blue come out of that tunnel, I guarantee you they will play hard and they will play physical. That I can promise you.
All right, what about the basketball game? Second half, Michigan up 4. Manny Harris playing hard and playing physical. Career high 27 for him, and Michigan up 6. Later in the second half, they're up 3. Deshaun Sims, he had 22. Rodriguez is digging it. Wolverines win it by 10, snapping a 7-game losing streak versus the Buckeyes in basketball.
Let's mess with Texas and Texas A&M. DJ Augustine, 3 for 25 from the field in his last 2 games. We like our kids to shoot usually better than 12% from the field. Augustine fired up to take on the Aggies, who beat them earlier this season by 17, puts his team up 12. Then the lob to Damian Jones. Texas up early 18-4. Their last loss back on June 30th was to A&M. Later in the first half, Augustine from way outside. That's good for 3. He still wasn't finished. Off the high screen, hits again. He was 7 of 11 in the first half, and he had 17 points, so we consider that much better. All right, how about the defense? Very active. Dexter Pittman a block. Connor Ashley got 1. Connor Ashley got himself a couple of them. Later in the second half, Texas leading 46-27. They are just rolling. They are going to bury Mark Turgeon's team here. Augustine finished with 27. Texas wins it 77-50. Big win for the home team. So the Big 12, a lock for 4 NCAA tournament spots, but could go as deep as 6. Longhorns pull into a tie in the standings with Kansas. Team Texas beat by 3 last Monday. They won 8 straight home games against ranked opponents. Next up for Bevo, another home game at the Drum. This one against OU.
11th-ranked Georgetown was staring at a 3rd loss in their last 4 games. Providence had the number for a while in the second half. John Thompson wondering about his guys shooting. Watch this. Jesse Sapp, jumper, no. Patrick Ewing rebounds, back to Sapp. Feeds DeJuan Summers. His shot is blocked. Sapp grabs a loose ball and misses another jumper. Come on. Hoya shot 12 of 35 in the first half. In the second half, Wayne F.A. Juku. He had 25 to lead all scores. Providence was up 6. But here come the Hoyas, tied at 43. John Wallace connects. He had 14. Hoyas up 9 further along. It's Patrick Ewing time. The drive and the throwdown put them up 11. Georgetown back on the winning track. They snapped that 2-game road losing streak.
More Big East on Big Monday. Syracuse and Louisville. Cardinals near the top of the conference food chain. Jim Boeheim's club sort of in the meaty part of the bell curve. After the game was tied at 26 at the half, Earl Clark kicks to the post. Jerry Smith, Schmitty with the 3. Louisville's up 5. Johnny Flynn drives in the floater. Look at this one again. That is, I mean, if you're playing horse, that is a letter for you. Syracuse down 39-33. Flynn, though, just 3 of 13 from the field. Off the turnover by the Orange, Terrence Williams go the other way. Look at him deliver 100% fresh squeezed, huh? Wow. He went coast to coast or sea to shining sea, depending on which highlight you read. Cardinals up 10. That's with Andrew McGee for 3. Louisville goes on to win at 61-50. They stay tied with the Hoyas atop the Big East at 11-3. I hear you chuckling.
And here's why. Randy Bennett, number 20th ranked St. Mary's, visiting Pepperdine. Patrick Mills from 3. No, but that's okay. Diamond Simpson is there to crash the boards for the tip-in. They were already rolling up 48-21, even more now. Carlin Hughes to Simpson. Might want to put a hand in his face. Up 65-35 now. Ian O'Leary from 3. St. Mary's, a school record, 17 threes. Last time they scored 100 points, some 4 years ago. It was also against Pepperdine.